other than the Mahler twins, this episode also introduces us to a couple villains that pop up later. One of them is Titan,
Mm.
who has like kind of a more prominent role in a later episode of this season. Um, and the other one is Kill Cannon, who is kind of shows up right at the end, and then we get the first like Invincible title drop. And Kill Cannon, I think most recently was fighting Adam Eve in like season two, episode four. Um, so yeah, I mean, some of these characters have been here for a while.
Well, and at one point, Debbie mentions the Lizard League and Doc Seismic.
Mm,
So I thought that was interesting. It really all comes back. Like they aren't just throwing stuff out there for no reason. Like they have everything has a reason.
everything is, yeah, it's all very like carefully set up.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, definitely a very solid episode before even before we get to the big ending.
Yeah. Let's 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 talk about Invincible. I feel like we haven't talked about him at all.
Yeah, let's talk about him. He's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's just reading a comic book on the toilet.
Yeah, definitely just a great way to introduce the main character. Um, he's such a he's just like everyone else, kind of. I feel like it's kind of gross to read on the toilet, you know?
I don't do it, but
Yeah.
I know people like have books on the back of their like toilet. No judgment if you read
Well,
on
I guess magazines is kind of I don't know if that's something that our people our
I
age
was
would
gonna say, but
do.
is it like are we just making fun of people who are reading books on a toilet just because we have our phones? Like
Well, see, that's what I was gonna like. It's gross to like go on your. It is gross, but everyone does it. But reading, like, it's something. It could you're like turning like
that's true.
pages,
You're like, how many pages are you getting through?
right?
That's not good for you to sit on a toilet for a
I
prolonged
know.
amount of time.
I just watch Invincible every time I'm on the toilet.
My God.
Just set it up. It'd be cool to have like one of those like some people, rich people must have like a TV in their bathroom, right? Or some little like thing where you could.
Yeah. I mean, if I like had a TV in my shower, like that would be a game changer.
That'd be pretty cool.
So,
I mean, you could do music in the shower, which is fun
yeah,
too.
I do music. I do podcasts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love listening to podcasts.
Even in the shower, though, that's interesting.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. I feel like you're so sophisticated with your mug of tea, and I feel like a child.
Wow, that water bottle is gigantic. Or Brie is just tiny, which,
No,
well,
I'm actually just tiny.
yeah. Bree's actually, I don't know if you guys knew this because it's hard to tell from Zoom, but Bree's actually 4'8" in real life. Um, so that water bottle is like two feet or something.
Yeah, I'm actually shrinking Ray.
Mm,
IRL.
Invincible reference.
Yeah. Which let's bring it back to. Um,
Yes.
what? Oh,
We just talk about Mark. Yeah.
yes, I love the scene where he finds out that he has his powers because again, like it's just so like relatable. First he's like working his minimum wage job at Burger Mart, and then he finds out he has powers by just doing a silly little task. And I feel like I always have those thoughts. I don't necessarily try to see if I have superpowers like you, but
Sure.
I do have those thoughts. I'm like, wow, if I could fly, I could beat LA traffic and not be late to recording my podcast every week.
Flying would be so clutch. Like if we're not even talking about like having superpowers to like fight crime or like save people, like just to like commute quicker or like just not have to deal with just the inconveniences and normal daily things that everyone else does.
The
It'd
amount
be
of
cool.
money I would save if I could fly.
It would be awesome.
But yeah, I love that moment. And he gets so excited and yeah, I don't know. It's really adorable.
He's just kind of like he's like I think he says like finally. Like it's just like I don't know. Yeah, it's just a really nice, sweet moment. I feel like this episode in general just has a lot of just sweet moments, especially like with Mark and each of his parents.
Mhm.
Um,
Which is so
yeah.
devastating.
What is it like going back to the start and seeing Nolan completely as like just, the dad?
It's so sad, like, knowing what happens. It's
Mhm.
just seeing them be so genuinely in love, it just, like, breaks your heart.
It is sad. And it makes you realize because it's interesting watching it and with the benefit of, I guess, is it the benefit of hindsight? Or in this case, the benefit of foresight?
With the knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know what I'm trying to say. Like we've now seen two full seasons, and so we've seen Nolan kind of say like, yeah, it was nice there for a while. Um, and it is sad. I was thinking about that while watching him just talking to Mark and talking to Debbie. Like he knows like he's here for this master race like mission.
Mhm,
Uh, but it's like he had those like 17, 18 years. I guess a little before that because they didn't have Mark immediately. Um, he had that 20 years or whatever. They kind of just like live an Earth life. Um, so it's definitely kind of sadder watching just these small moments, knowing kind of everything that will happen and everything that has already happened in the wider lore to lead up to where we start in episode one.
mhm.
Um, but it's definitely like it makes for a cool rewatch, like knowing all of that information.
Yeah. Also, knowing all that information, how did you feel when you were watching the scenes where Nolan is coaching Mark on how to, like, be a superhero?
I mean, I probably still like fairly similarly to how I probably initially thought when I first saw the episode. Um, it's just like it's just kind of fun and cool to see, like to see Nolan like teach his son something that we here will never experience, but like it's like kind of delivered in such a relatable like father son way.
Mhm.
Um, but I do think about uh just kind of knowing everything that does happen. Like you do kind of think about this is really Nolan's not like training him to like fight crime. Um,
Mhm.
he's kind of this is the start of Mark's becoming like a Viltrumite to ideally join the Empire.
Yeah. I bring it up because when I was watching them train, I had similar feelings to you. Like I loved seeing like the father-son dynamic. But there's a moment where Nolan punches Mark extremely hard.
Right.
And for a second, Nolan just like stares at Mark with like this like kind of disgust in his eyes. And then he's like, I didn't mean to hit you so hard, but he has like this big moment of pause where he just stares at Mark. And I thought that was really interesting and it just gave me like
Yeah.
bad feelings. I was like, oh my God, like knowing what I know, I was like, Nolan is
Mm,
not a good guy. Definitely like upon first watch. I don't think I picked up on that. But the second
right.
time or the third time, I was like, ooh, like that look he gives him is telling.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great moment too. Especially I think just seeing Mark get bodied so easily. Um, now that we've seen him like take real beatdowns. Um,
Yeah.
I just love like Steven Yeun's out of breath delivery. It really feels like he did just kind of actually get punched.
Yeah.